Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Sharon Bown, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Chief Petty Officer David Osborne. We warmly welcome the family of Sergeant Frank Alfred Tibby, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During the ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors. Please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is earth by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Frank Tibby. Born in Sydney suburb of Leichhardt on the 20th of October 1890, Frank Tibby was the oldest son of Jack and Ada Tibby. He attended Erskineville Superior Public School and afterwards became a fitter and turner by trade. As a young man, Tibby also served in the militia for 6 years with the 24th Infantry in Sydney. There he honed his skills and became an excellent marksman, winning 4 medals in the local shield competitions in the years prior to the war. With the outbreak of war in Europe in 1914, Australia was immediately asked to seize the German colony in New Guinea and destroy their wireless networks in the region. Enlistments opened on the 11th of August and the Australian Naval and Military Expeditionary Force was hastily formed. One of those accepted that day was Frank Tibby. With his prior military service and evident leadership qualities, he was promoted to sergeant within a week and assigned to E Company on the 1st Infantry Battalion. The Expeditionary Force departed Sydney on the 19th of August aboard the troop ship Berrima and steamed up the east coast of Australia, supported by ships of the Royal Australian Navy. 3 weeks later, they landed at Rabaul. After brief fighting, the small German force surrendered and terms were signed soon after. Now under Australian military administration, the task at hand was to search the colony for remaining resistance and occupy the key areas. In early December, Tibby and around 60 men were assigned to continue westwards along the northern coast of the mainland of New Guinea to occupy the settle of Atepe. They set off from Frederick Wilhelmshaven, now known as Madang, on a little mission steamer named the SS Gabriel. Arriving a few days later on the 4th of December, they took possession of Atepe without incident. There was little to do in this isolated place except routine military duties and trying to stay cool in the oppressive humidity. The beach, known for its big surf, became a popular place to spend free time. On the afternoon of the 21st of December 1914, Tibby and several comrades were enjoying a swim. Tibby was learning to shoot breakers in the surf when he was unexpectedly dumped by a big wave. He initially seemed okay, but complained of a sore back, of which he hoped to shake off. The next day, he went out for a walk with Private Crisp, hoping to catch some exotic butterflies, but Tibby soon fell ill again, this time a severe headache adding to his painful back. Hopeful he would soon recover, Tibby tried to tough it out, but the following day, he was laid low and late that afternoon was brought to the hospital by the company Sergeant Gordon. Tibby remained in hospital where the medic did what little he could. The headaches got worse over the next few days until the afternoon of the 29th of December, he slipped unconscious and died. It was eventually discovered that Tibby had died from a brain hemorrhage caused by a depressed fracture at the base of his skull. He was 24 years old. Tibby was buried at Atepe, but his remains were later moved to the Ley War Cemetery. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, among more than 60,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. But this is one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Frank Tibby, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his final moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the Australian War Memorial Last Post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the memorial and we wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.